6 Conspiracy Theories and History Facts. 1. Between 1969 and 1972, a total of 12 NASA astronauts walked on the Moon, and the sites of their landings have subsequently been photographed by the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter. In the decades since the Apollo 11 crew landed on the Moon, various conspiracy theories have been put up suggesting the entire Apollo program was faked. For what reason do the stars never appear in any of the moon landing pictures? As to why American flags are flapping in the air above us, read on. If lunar modules landed there, why do you just see footprints in the photos? The explanations for such things are less complicated than you may assume. According to NASA, opens in new tab, there are no stars because, much like on Earth, the strong glare of daylight on the surface washes them away. American flags buried in the lunar soil reportedly had metal rods sewed into them to make it look like the flags were waving in the wind. The flag would have made for a quite boring photo prop if not for these wires. The lunar modules, despite being heavier than the astronauts' boots, left fewer noticeable impressions on the surface in some locations because their weight was spread more uniformly. 2. This whole NASA thing is a complete fabrication. In Kennedy Space Center, the Vehicle Assembly Building. Some individuals think NASA's sole purpose is to come up with elaborate hoaxes about space travel rather than true exploration of the cosmos. People who accept this conspiracy, frequently tagged with the hashtag #NASAHoax on social media, will assert that spectacular space photographs of Mars, Pluto, and even Earth are phony, computer-generated imagery. Looking for liquid water on Mars. National Aeronautics and Space Act of 1958 was signed into law by President Dwight D. Eisenhower shortly after the start of the space race against the Soviet Union to provide for research into problems of flight within and outside the Earth's atmosphere, and for other purposes. This is when NASA was officially established. NASA has since placed hundreds of satellites into orbit around Earth, the Moon, and other planets. Actually, NASA has sent spacecraft to every planet in the solar system, either to orbit the planets or to fly by or land on them. In addition to launching satellites into space, NASA also launches astronauts into space to perform experiments aboard the International Space Station, ISS. Are you still not convinced? Watch a rocket take off in person, or use a satellite tracker to observe the International Space Station and other satellites. 3. Studies have proven that Earth is in fact flat. The Flat Earth Society exists because of how widespread this misconception is. Members of the group claim that if Earth were spherical, the horizon would never be at the same level as the observer. While this may be true, NASA has published numerous movies captured by satellites, including a live video of Earth from the ISS, which orbits our planet 16 times daily, proving that there is in fact a whole movie of the Earth's rotation visible from space. You can use the orbits of satellites as proof that Earth is spherical. To avoid crashing into Earth's atmosphere, satellites need to be moving fast enough at a high enough altitude and fall around the Earth at the right speed and orbital path. Alternately, you may marvel at the incredible imagery captured by astronauts aboard the ISS. 4. The 9 planets will destroy US. The tabloid claimed that Planet 9, a hypothetical planet at the boundary of the solar system, may destroy Earth as soon as this month. In a related movie, it is stated that the new planet will send a barrage of asteroids and comets hurtling toward Earth, which would eventually smash into our home planet. Although its presence has not been verified, astronomers are avidly searching for it to explain the motions of some objects in the vast region of frozen objects beyond Neptune known as the Kuiper Belt. Mike Brown of the California Institute of Technology said that even if the planet is discovered, it won't be dangerous to humanity. 5. The planet Nibiru is a murderous threat to humanity. This artist's impression depicts a huge planet in space apart from its star. Recent research by astronomers has revealed evidence for such isolated planets, which were previously assumed to have been expelled from forming star systems. New research suggests that such a planet might exist at the solar system's outskirts and that it may have been caught by the sun. There is no need to worry, as Nibiru will not wipe off humanity. Nibiru, first stated in Zecharia Sitchin's 1976 book, The 12th Planet, is another deadly planet, according to conspiracy theorists. In it, Sitchin claims to have deciphered ancient Sumerian cuneiform and that the text provides evidence for the existence of Nibiru, a planet beyond Neptune that makes an orbit around the Sun every 3,600 years. Later, in 2003, self-proclaimed psychic Nancy Lieder claimed to have had contact with aliens who warned that Nibiru would crash into Earth. The original date of 2010 was pushed back to 2012 when that failed to materialize. Obviously, the impact never happened, the world didn't end in 2012, and no astronomer has ever discovered a planet on a collision course with Earth. 6. A face was found on Mars. NASA's Viking 1 orbiter captured the first grayscale photograph of the face on Mars on July 25, 1976. This image depicts a massif of eroded rock in Cydonia. A photograph taken of Mars by NASA's Viking 1 spacecraft in 1976 shows what appears to be a human face. Almost immediately, speculation arose that aliens had visited Mars and left the face behind as proof of their presence. The suspected face, however, is only a pile of rocks, as NASA explained. As a follow-up, NASA released higher-resolution images from the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter in 1998 and the Mars Global Surveyor in 2001. According to the most recent photographs, the so-called face on Mars is actually just a play of light and shadow on an otherwise ordinary Martian hill.